Hey, and welcome to the Lemony Fizz channel. In this video, we're going to work on building a happy birthday money box. So it's one of those boxes where they just grab the little tab that says pull and they start pulling and more money comes out and more money comes out, more money comes out. That's the goal. You should have all your pieces cut and ready to go. You can either follow along or watch the video and then go try it on your own and come back for tips, tricks, or parts that you're unsure of. We're going to use just a couple pieces of cut paper this time instead of foam core. One, because it was a little bit narrower, and two, I know not everybody's always got access to all the different adhesives, so I just wanted to try it and see if we could make it thick enough for a shaker box with paper instead of actually using a foam core. So when you see 6 of these in the file, it's really not a mistake. You need 6 of these if you don't want to use foam adhesive. If you do want to use foam adhesive, then you're going to need it to be like the 1/4 inch or a little bit thinner than that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do then is work on the inside box, I think. So I'm going to actually set this stuff aside, and then we will come back to that in a minute. This is just I can't remember if these went on the front or the back. I think the front or the sides. And I'm gonna try to remember to do that too. Okay, so you should have, for the inside, you should have the inside piece already scored and cut and ready to go. This big white square, don't get it confused. There's some littler ones that came out of the inside of these, okay? So you'll have like 6 of these size. We're not actually using those other than one if you wanted to use it like on the back panel to write, 2 from whatever. So if you want to set one of those aside and save it, do. Otherwise, you're going to use this big one. It's going to be the back of that window when we get there. So set that aside too. You're going to need this white one that has the score lines on it. This one later when we do the money, so you can set that aside, as well as the stars for the money part. And then these are the backs of the candles. So we've got a little bit of assembly for some of the like little, I don't know, I want to call them clip art pieces or whatever, but the little elements, we've got some of those still to do. We'll get there. First thing we're going to do is this box, and I also had a 6x6 paper pad of birthday paper from Echo Park. I've got like the boys and the girls version, so that's where this paper came from, and I just cut a sentiment out of it because I don't have a printer. It's easier than trying to mess with all the little letters with a Cricut, and we're paper crafting. We're going to use a little bit of everything that we have, and so if you've got scraps, this is your opportunity to use them, especially if they are birthday themed or will fit a birthday theme. So first thing I want you to do is grab this big one that has this hole in the center, whatever color it is that you cut that on, and start folding along your score lines. Okay, and you should have quite a few. There's quite a few flaps here and tucky things. If something's not scored or scoring well for you from your Cricut, then there's other scoring tools you can use. It doesn't have to be Cricut related. There's quite a few of them on the market. So if you've got a scoring tool, just go along those lines again, kind of break the fibers of that paper and get it to bend a little bit better. For the most part, as long as you haven't put any like moisture on these yet or adhesive, they should fold pretty well, which is why we're doing this before we actually start gluing. We'll glue while it's still flat, but we want to get all those folds and creases ready to go first. Okay. So it should be, or that one, all kinds of wonky. Okay. And then if you've got a bone folder or anything and you want to make those a little bit crisper, it's up to you too. I usually just use my fingernail. When I have a bone folder, I always just forget to use it. Okay, so you should have what looks like the beginnings of a box already. We're going to lay that flat for a second and start adding some pieces. I'm going to start with this one just because it's the most obvious, and it's just going to go around that money opening right there. That's where we're going to pull the money through. Okay. We'll get all these on, and then we'll do the shelf on the inside. So just line that up with the edges of your that slot right there. as best you can, and then stay inside your fold lines on the side here. That one's made pretty much 2 size. It won't have like any overlap or anything, or like it won't have the border of the yellow. It's just going to be the top of the box in whatever pattern paper you chose to print that in, or if you just went with the base color from the file. Okay, you should have 2 that are this length. They're going to go here on the sides. We'll do those next. Just kind of light and easy on the glue if you can. Keep things from warping. And we're just basically doing this to decorate this box so that it's cute when you pull it out of, like if they wanted to take it out of that box, or if, when you're going to refill it or whatever. It's just going to be a box inside of a box. We're just making it cute and decorative, or attractive and decorative, just because we can. Just adds to the fun. Okay, and then you've got this one, which is going to be this bottom panel, and then you've got the 2 main panels. For the most part, they probably won't even take this box out, but if you wanted to like put the money back in it, or they wanted to use it for something else, it's kind of makes it a little more attractive. Okay, so then panels. Kind of adds to the sturdiness and the oomph of it too. Like the more layers of paper you get, the more sturdy things start to feel. It adds to the quality. A certain, I probably can't even say it right, je ne sais quoi. Okay, so that is our inside box. And now we are going to do the tricky part. Let's see what we want to do here. I think the easiest is just going to be to go ahead and put this in right away. So you're going to fold those score lines down. I've already put the super sticky double-sided tape stuff on it and pulled my corners back just a little so that it's easier to get off. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up and come about, I don't know, the money roll's thickness down, like an inch, inch and a half, okay? And eyeball it. I guess you could just do this too. Kind of line that side up. And then fold up. Put that flap still down. That'll help you get it to pretty straight. Or you can draw a line on there if you want to, like if you want to be super precise about getting this parallel to the top of the box. I'm not overly worried about it, so obviously I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to go ahead and try to decide how best to get this. I think we can just close the box up. Kind of eyeball it, and then if you're wet gluing, obviously you're going to want to press and hold for a minute or two, okay? I am doing the tape stuff, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and then press across. Hopefully. My last one was like when I did the Valentine's one, it was pretty wonky. It was funny. Okay, so then I'm going to press across, and now that's, see, it still went wonky. That's basically the pocket roll where we're going to put the money, because if we just dropped it down inside the box, it's going to unroll and it's not going to come out as smoothly. So we're just doing that to kind of hold the money there in the corner. And yep, so I didn't make the flaps as big as that shelf so that you can still tuck these in without damaging the edges of your flaps, right? So it should just tuck in there nicely. That one's gonna prove me wrong, okay? Should still be a nice tight fit. If you want, you can glue one side of the box so that it holds a little bit better. Personally, I think I'm going to glue on this side just to hold it, and then start with my tabs. That way I'm just not fighting it when I try to put it in the box, or like put the money, this money box inside the main money box when we're all done. So go ahead and glue that inside there. Hold it for a second while it seals up. Should have a nice straight edge. It's a little. Sometimes you need like 4 hands, right? Then you could be holding it and moving on to the next part. Okay. So then a little bit of glue on this tab. This tab. Oops, not on that tab. Not on that tab. That's gonna be good for, I got a cut right there. Okay, just this tab. I'll fold that in. And we don't want to glue that other one because I do want this one glued though. Sorry, so it's this flap and this flap. This one's gonna stay open because we gotta be able to put the money in the box. Okay. I'm just kind of pressing along that flap inside there until I know my glue is going to hold. And then once that's done, you can set this aside for just a minute because we're going to come back to this in a minute. If you're planning on putting a sentiment in there, now would be the time to do that. You just have to decide if you want to fold this forward or backwards away from you. I don't think it really matters either way because we're going to be pulling the money out of the top. So it's just a matter of what you're most comfortable with. Do you want this fold to be in the front or do you want it to be in the back? Okay, I'm going to leave that up to you. I think my glue is not sticking there. I think I'm going to put mine to the left so that they see that nice crease and don't realize that the box opens there. And then that way they're not trying to open it right off the bat. I want them to see the little pull tab and go for the pull. Okay, so that means my sentiment is actually going to go here on this side with the opening on the left. And if you wanted to glue that side down and put your sentiment, yeah, so that either way, made that way more confusing than it needs to be. Sometimes I don't pre-think things through, and then other times I pre-think them too far through, and they don't even need to be a concern. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. I can get my fingers in there still. This needs a little more glue too. I have some new glue on order. I'm really excited to try. I'm going to try that Barely Arts glue. If you've used it, you'll have to let me know what you think. And then after I've used it for a while, I'll let you know what I think compared to this tacky stuff. Okay, so that's our money box. We're going to set that aside for a second while we work on the outside of the box, and then we'll do the money roll. Okay, so I'm going to work on this window so it has time to dry while we fold up the other box. If you've got foam tape, again, this is where you would use it instead of this. I just wanted to experiment with stacks of paper to see, one, if they measure up to like using foam tape, and two, if they, I know they can be as thick. That's why I did the 6, because I compared them to the foam tape and it looked almost identical. So I think the trick with this is just going to be a matter of lining it up. And I was going to do some of these before I videoed and I totally spaced it. So now you get to do it with me, and I'll just probably cut some of it out. I don't know, there's something just therapeutic about watching glue, even if it's not your own glue. At least it's not drying in front of our eyes, right? How many of you ever used to do the whole glue on your hand to make fake skin trick when you were in school? Was like the thing to be entertained by. A thin layer of Elmer's glue across your palm, and then you got to peel it off like skin, and it was holy wow factor. The things we did for entertainment, huh? Okay. So So we're at level 4 right now, and if you hold it up to like your foam tape, if you do have some, should be pretty darn close to the same thickness. This is just the one that I had in my thing, so that's actually at level 4. It's even thicker than, it's about the same. We're gonna go for 6 just because I wasn't sure how much space we were gonna need, and I'm gonna do something a little unorthodox and use real sprinkles for my shaker card, because I didn't have any that were really like birthday themed. I had fruit, and I had Valentine's, and I have St. Patrick's Day, and then I think I've got just some red ones and some blue ones, which I was actually anticipating using for like winter and Christmas. So yeah, nothing that was super exciting yet for birthday. So we're going to use real true cake sprinkles for, at least I am, for the inside of my shaker card. I'm not actually a huge fan of sprinkles, like actually eating them, so I think it's the perfect use for them. Just stick them in a card. Okay, use them to craft. Okay, so that's 6, and it's pretty thick. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm gonna let that dry. Set it aside for a second. Squeeze some of the glue out of it. Okay, put that aside, and then let's work on this. So I didn't include extra letters to change that color, and I'm thinking now maybe I probably should have, just because it would be fun, or if you wanted to do something like super glittery, like glitter vinyl or something. So I will go back and add that to the file before you actually get it. So you won't see me put them on there, but they are going to be available inside the file. Okay. So I'm just going to glue each of these panels down, and I totally just went against what I normally do, and I didn't fold my score lines. I got distracted thinking about sprinkles and letters. And I've been telling myself a bazillion times, don't forget to do, the correct order of acetate, file, like the thickness, then the sprinkles, then the background. And I still have a feeling I'm going to mess that up. Okay. I wish you could talk to me while I was doing this so you could remind me. Don't forget, acetate, then the thickness, or the foam, or the paper that we just made, then the sprinkles, then the background. Okay, so then those are just the panels that are going to go on the box. Okay, and I'm going to kind of let that dry for a second before we start folding. So I'm sorry I'm bouncing around on you, but I realized I didn't fold before I put glue on, and I don't want to mess with those while they're still kind of damp. So we will glue the candles. To their backgrounds. And I think my thoughts were to put these on the side of the box. Obviously, you could decorate. However, if you've got some ribbon or something, that would be cute too, to find a way to attach. Maybe tie it around the edges of the box. Oop, I got a tag in there. Okay. While we're waiting for that front to glue, let's go ahead and glue on our pull, or do our pull thing too. We're not gluing it on, we're just getting it ready. So you're going to have this pull tab coming out at you. The stars are going to go across it like this. Okay. And you could pop dot these on there, not probably necessary. And it's gonna get like pinched and held quite a bit, so it's probably better not to pop dot them. But you could glitter glow them, give them something bright and fun. I'm gonna do blue and green on the outside and yellow in the center because I want to be able to stamp on it and I want it to be visible really well. So I want the yellow to be in the center. If you've got stamps that you can use, great. If not, just handwriting it on there. That's what I did on, I think, one of the popcorn ones. Or if you've got a printer, you can always like run it through with a little message, you know, pull here or whatever. I have Lawn Fawn stamps that go with the interactive sets, like it's the interactive stamp set to go with the interactive dies that they make. So they say like pull here, push here, push me, press me, pull here, open me, slide. That open me you could put on the front, maybe above the happy birthday if you had it, and then, or the arrow. And then I'm gonna do, there's a pull here or this pull here. I think I'm gonna do this fat one. So, and I'm gonna do, I am not a professional stamper. I don't have the acrylic to use with it. I'm just gonna do it by hand. Let's see how well this goes. Actually, I think I could probably set it on the back of this to hold on to. It's on my list to someday like play with stamps more and get like the Misty, but we're not there yet. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that right in the middle of that star. Perfect, works for me. Put this back where it goes. Get rid of that little, oh, it's going with it. Purple tag. Okay. Close that back up. Okay, so that's ready for the money thing. Those are for the outside edges of the box. This should be cured enough. We can fold it now. Okay, so if you were ahead of me and you folded everything on your score lines, you get a gold star because you did it before you glued. I'm doing it after, which for the most part on this one's not going to hurt much of anything because it's just those straight edges, but all these will fold nicely still. That's going to be a little difficult. I might follow that line again, just because it's so close to those letters and that thin part. I don't think that one's going to have a problem. Maybe. You just got to coax it. I'm going to use this like a bone folder. Just go along that edge to kind of crease it a little better. Okay, this one. It's already done. Okay, that one's scaring me. Oh yeah, no problem. Same idea though. I'm gonna kind of go along it with this just to kind of get a good crease on there so it's not trying to pull up on me. Okay, and then this one. Okay, so you should be all folded and ready to finalize this box. This box, it's easy, it's just a box. I'm leaving this lid open, right? So before we do that, this is where I had to convince myself to remember things. Okay, you should have an acetate. And we are going to put a thin line of glue all the way around these letters, or the letter opening. If you have like a thinner, the double-sided tape, this would be a good place to use it probably, just because it's going to stick a little bit better. This glue is going to be kind of a nightmare. I might have to pause and come back because it's going to kind of squish out and be icky too. I think I might kind of do like a wipe and hold. Oh, you know what else though? Because we've got this, that's handy. The letters, you can kind of glue on there too to hold your acetate a little better, because nobody's gonna see it there. That worked well. That's better than I thought it was gonna be. Okay. So I'm gonna do just a little smearing here, just so it's not gooing places I don't want it to. I'm gonna control the smear. Okay. And then we'll put the acetate on there, just right to the edges. Okay. And the reason it doesn't go all the way to the edge here is because I wanted this to be able to hold it down too. So then next, glue down that either the white pieces that you had already glued together to make the depth, or this is where you're going to put your foam tape. Okay, if you've got the thinner foam tape and you want to use it here, by all means use it there. Okay, I was just experimenting with it. This should be parallel with the bottom of the box. Okay, you don't want it to go past there, because then you won't be able to fold. Same with these edges, and that's going to kind of help you to guide where this goes. Okay, and I'm just going to hold it for a second. Make sure we get a good seal. We don't want any of those sprinkles getting away. Okay, and then I've got a bag of sprinkles, like really truly. I'm just going to put a spoonful or two in there. Probably just one spoonful, because they're a little fat. Spread them out a little. Those ones are gonzo. Get out of there. Okay. And then we can put that white paper backing that we have. Okay, that was the big square. Same idea, just going to run some glue along the edges of this one more time. I picked up a sprinkle. Put that in the garbage. It's going to be stuck to me now. And then this flat piece here. Seal that down. Kind of excited about this. Okay, flip it over. Yep, should have sprinkles and a happy birthday. And then if you wanted to, I'll put it in the file, but you can put something over that just to make it a little bit more visible. Maybe a black or something, something shiny, whatever you want. Okay, so let's fold this box up now. We are going to put some glue on the bottom tabs. We do not want to glue the top, because that's where we're putting the box inside. Moment of truth will be, will that other box fit in this one with the shaker box included? Yikes. Okay. Same as any other time, just kind of hold them for a second while your glue sets. And then I'm leaving this alone, right? I'm going to put some glue right here. Whoop. And some glue right here. And same old trick as before, like if you've got something you can get down inside that box, kind of like when we do the popcorn ones, you want to kind of be able to press up against that edge. So I'm going to use that same score tool. I'm going to put this down on the table, and then I'm just going to run that score tool along that flap down in there, all the way down into the bottom, and then back and forth, just to kind of like press along that edge where I would normally press with my finger, but I don't want to try to get my finger down inside the box because then I'll just be pulling on the paper, which kind of defeats the purpose. Okay, and then same with that back edge. Okay, so we are ready. I'm kind of scared to put this in there. I don't know if it's going to fit. Let's just try it. See if we can get it started in there. Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. Phew. Okay, back to the money roll. So you should have one side of this box that still opens. We are going to take our money and some Scotch tape. So my phone got too full and I'm just sitting here talking away to you and it stopped recording. So you should have this built. This was already built. You should be happy with everything there. The roll of money, you're just going to take a couple, like however many dollars and denominations you want, and you're going to tape them all in a roll or in a straight line, okay, nice and parallel along the edges. And then you're going to put them on a pen and roll them up, not too tight because you want to be able to get it off the pen, okay? So when you start it, it's okay if it loosens after a couple of turns and is looser in there. If it's not loose enough to get off, turn your pen backwards away from the way that you were rolling while you hold the dollar roll, and it'll kind of loosen up that hole in there so that you can get your pen back out, okay? Once you've got your dollar money roll, you're gonna just slip it inside the box here without the tag or the tab on it yet, because the tab is designed so that this doesn't go back inside the box. Like, you don't want it slipping down inside there. So the tab's gonna stop it from going back inside the box. Okay, so put your money in there. It should tuck nicely right there in the top part of that box, and then you're going to go ahead and close it. You can see mine's getting a little chewed up because I've had to open and close it like 4 times thanks to my video stopping. Okay, so there's the box with the money, and then you're going to just fold some tape backwards on itself to make it double-sided sticky tape, if you don't have any double-sided Scotch tape already. Okay, and then tape that to your dollar bill or whichever denomination is sticking out first. And then just fold that up over it so that it's got the nice little pull here celebratory thing. You can kind of tuck those down inside so that there's no money peeking if you don't want it to, okay? And then this is going to go inside this box. Depending on how well you glued down in there, it might get caught on that flap. So what I do is I just kind of push it out with something so it makes a little bit of a bubble while I'm squeezing the sides of the box. And then I can get this down inside there, okay? Get it past the flap. It doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom. You just has to be past the flap with your pull here popping out like on the top like that. And then you're going to close these and close this, and this is probably going to catch a little bit on your shaker at the top there. So I'm just going to kind of something a little bit thinner than your finger, obviously, to get down inside that box so that you can get it past that shaker. Okay. I might have to design the shaker to come up to the top of the box just to make this easier on everybody. So if your shaker thing comes to the top, it's because I've redone it and made it easier for you to get it in there. Okay, so there should be your happy birthday box with the money tucked inside, right? And then we're gonna put probably some candles on the edges like this. And you are ready to give this as a gift. Super fun, super unique, great way to give money and still have it be a little bit of a present. You know, I don't know if you're like me, you've got older kids and they only want money, but it's just kind of boring to transfer money over to their checking account. So this would just be a fun way to kind of give them money. I don't know how I managed that, but that one went all wonky there. Okay. So there we go. And then there'll also be in the file if you want a different color for the happy birthday, and then you could cut it out multiple times and turn it into 2 or 3 colors depending on what you want, but you got a money box. Okay, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, leave comments, questions if you've got them in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Check out the shop for other paper crafts to do. There's other money boxes for other holidays and gift cards and popcorn wraps. It's shop.lemonyfizz.com. Thanks for watching.